Pepsi Cola, the light refreshment.
Pepsi was first introduced as Brad's Drink in New Bern, North Carolina in 1893 by Caleb Bradham. Bradham started manufacturing Brad's Drink at his drugstore, where the drink was sold until around 1903. The name Pepsi Cola surfaced and replaced the original name in 1898. Pepsi is the Greek word for digestion, which the drink supposedly healed, and cola after the cola nut. The original recipe also included sugar and vanilla. In 1903, Bradham moved the bottling of Pepsi Cola from his drugstore to a rented warehouse. That year, Bradham sold 8,000 gallons of syrup. The next year, Pepsi was sold in 6-ounce bottles, and sales increased to 20,000 gallons, more than doubling. In 1909, automobile race pioneer Barney Oldfield was the first celebrity to endorse Pepsi Cola, describing it as a bully drink, refreshing, invigorating, a fine bracer before a race. This was also a pioneer moment for sponsorships in racing. By 1923, the Pepsi Cola Company entered bankruptcy due to financial losses incurred by the wildly fluctuating sugar prices as a result of World War I. Assets were sold, and the company was passed around before being purchased by Charles Guth, the president of Loft Incorporated. Loft was a candy manufacturer with retail stores that contained soda fountains. He sought to replace Coca-Cola at his store's fountains after the Coca-Cola Company refused to give him additional discounts on syrup. Guth then had Loft's chemists reformulate the Pepsi Cola syrup formula. This was a fine example of the large spread cola wars that were taking place across the nation. One of the things people don't realize about Pepsi is that at one point it was sold in Hutchinson-style bottles. Sadly, only in one town, Escambia, Florida. These bottles now bring over $1,000 on the market, and yes, it is on my bucket list. On 3 separate occasions between 1922 and 1933, the Coca-Cola Company was offered the opportunity to purchase the Pepsi Cola Company, and it declined on each occasion. It's hard to think of a world without Pepsi, but if Coca-Cola had played their cards right, they very well could have had a monopoly on the soda front.
If you've enjoyed a cold drink of this cola before, you'll definitely enjoy watching this video about its logo history. Today, we are going to talk about the iconic Pepsi logo. You'll learn new things that may delight you and see breathtaking logo designs. Let's get started. The brand was founded in 1898 by Caleb D. Bradham. It was originally known as Brad's Drink. The initial logo for Brad's Drink looked nothing like the Pepsi logo. It looked like this. It looks very different from the one we see today, right? The first official Pepsi logo debuted in 1898. Bradham created this script logo himself. This goes to show that taking the DIY path to logo design is not as bad as they make it out to be. As the company grew, a logo redesign had to take place. Creating a relevant brand identity is vital for any growing business. Pepsi updated its logo again in 1905. It retained the same concept, but cleaned up some of the visual clutter. The redesign made the logo easier to read. The company would not tweak its logo again until 1940. Pepsi redesigned the logo by disconnecting the letters P and C in the calligraphy. The letters became more polished, which created a better distinction between the font combination. 10 years later, the bottle cap logo was introduced. The illustration is tilted ever so slightly to make the design pop out. This 1950 Pepsi Cola logo featured a more patriotic color scheme with red, blue, and white. It was a time after the Second World War ended too. This made the redesign look patriotic. Small and seemingly unimportant changes like this one can forge big connections between brands and their audience. In 1962, the logo said goodbye to 2 things. It got rid of the script font and the word cola. And now, the bottle cap only featured Pepsi in a sans serif font. Things only got smoother from here. The 1973 version of the Pepsi logo had a cleaner silhouette. The crimped or jagged edges of the bottle cap were scrapped and replaced with a clean white frame. This change gave it more prominence with the clever use of white space. The logo took on a sporty persona in the 90s. Pepsi's 1991 logo separated the globe and the word mark for good. The typography became italicized, making the logo look as if it was in motion. By the end of the century, the Pepsi logo was all set to face the world with a logo that had more depth. The 1998 version added more details to its design. It reflected light and recreated the word mark with bolder typography. A few years later, the brand added more graphic elements to its 2003 logo. It featured water droplets that gave the beverage emblem a thirst-provoking look. Finally, it's time to talk about the brand's most recent redesign. This one is quite the story. Led by the Arnell Group, the breathtaking globe icon in the Pepsi brand mark was launched in 2008. It was said to represent magnetic fields, innovation, the golden ratio, DNA, and more. People from all over the world called this million-dollar project Da Vinci-esque because of all the layers behind the fizzy drink's symbol. The design document for the project consists of 27 pages. Needless to say that it became a hot topic in the world of branding of the time. Today, Pepsi proves to be a relevant brand in the market. The company's logo serves as inspiration for many designers out there. Do you want to see more local history videos soon? We'd love to hear it from you in the comments section. If you enjoyed a cold drink of
Do they show up after like 90 days? No, they put it to it.